Okay, hey guys. So we are going to look at the Explore It task card. So when I'm looking at task card 1, I'm given information in the very beginning, right? It's telling me what a barometer actually is, that it's an instrument that we use to measure air pressure or atmospheric pressure. And we know that air has a weight. We don't necessarily feel it all the time, but we do know that it has a weight and that it can be measured. And in this particular case, they're often either measured in mercury, inches of mercury, or millibars, which we abbreviate MB. Now, this first task card is asking you to use the barometer provided and find the inches of mercury and the millibar readings. So how do I do that? So if I go back down here and I'm looking at my barometer, I'm going to start off by looking at this particular spot. And this says millibar. So I know that this whole curve is going to tell me what millibars are. So I'm going to just erase that really quick. Now I'm looking at here, this is 1000 and this is 1010. So now I just need to know how each of these lines are divided. And I know that there's 4, and usually when there's 4, it's by 2. So let's just double check to make sure that's right. So this would be 1002, 1004, 1006, 1008, 1010. So that adds up. So each of my lines is 2. So if I'm looking at just my arrow and I'm looking at where it's pointing, I can see that for my millibars, this is 1002 millibars. But now what about my inches of mercury? So these numbers right here are my inches of mercury. And the little numbers in between, so if I'm looking at 28 and then I'm going to 25, the little numbers in between are basically my points. So if I have 29, this is 29.5, and then there are little numbers in here. But since this is still pointing here, I know that my inches per mercury is going to be 29.6 because it's 1 over from the 5. Now, so that's my inches of mercury. Now, if I look at the next question, I'm going to scroll up here. I'm going to get rid of some of this. My next question is asking what type of weather would be outside. So to answer that question, I'm actually going to look at the yellow arrow, because this is kind of telling me what my weather is going to be like, because that's what these are referring to. So I have fair, very dry, stormy, rain. And then this is like it's going to change from what it just was. You can also look to see if this number is listed on this column. And we know that this is pretty similar to the measurement that we are experiencing. And this is a typical low pressure system. So you could say, when asking you what the weather is, that it is a typical, and remember, anytime that you are writing on your lab sheet, you're restating the question. I'm just doing this for like guidance purposes. I don't actually have the lab sheet being filled out right now. So this is typical low pressure system. And I'm probably going to want to include that there might be a chance of rain. Why would I say that there might be a chance of rain? Well, because if I'm talking about low systems, low pressure systems, we remember that low pressure equals lousy weather. And that's your rainy, stormy weather. So you could say that it is probably going to have a chance of rain. It could be cloudy. It might be improving, or it might get worse. And that's kind of why this, and I'm going to erase this part just so that you can see the arrow clearly, why the yellow arrow is kind of in between change and fair. So yes, we're going to experience that low pressure system. Could get better, it could get worse, but definitely could be a chance of rain given the low pressure system. Okay, hopefully that helps. Okay, then if I continue going on, I'm looking at, on a weather map, high pressure areas are marked with a blue H and low pressure areas are marked with a red L. Okay, just to have you guys remember, high pressure is happy weather and low pressure is lousy weather. Okay, so this is your sunny weather and this is your rainy, cloudy weather. This is just informational. That's all that is. That task card is just informational. So now task cards 3 and 4, I see are going to be on my lab sheet. So I need to make sure that these are the ones that I answer. So now I'm using the weather map and the barometer key to answer the following question. So what would I expect the weather to be like in San Diego, California? So I'm looking down at San Diego, California. San Diego, California is a high pressure, right? And it looks like it might be in like an isobar, right? Because of this whole circle thing, but this is a high pressure system. And so now, because of that high pressure, then I'm going to go and look at my barometer. Where would there be high pressure? So high pressure is around here. So this is probably what I would be experiencing if I was worrying about my barometer. So for this one, when I'm looking at what San Diego would be, it would most likely be clear skies, sunny, and probably fair weather, right? So now then I'm looking at Green Bay. And where's Green Bay? Green Bay is over here. This is a low pressure system. So I know low pressure is lousy weather. And I don't really have to worry about the barometer too much, other than the fact that this might give me some information. But I know that it's a low pressure system. So low pressure systems is usually cloudy, rainy, that type of weather. And given where what we're talking about, Green Bay, Wisconsin, it could actually even go as far as being snowy, so rainy or snowy. And now I'm going to go back down to Virginia and I see, oh, look, that's another high pressure area. So now that I know that it's a high pressure area, this is going to be similar to what I had just written up by San Diego, which is that it's going to be clear skies. It's most likely going to be sunny and fair. Okay, now some weather maps have lines on them showing air pressure, and these lines are called isobars. At each point on the isobar, the air pressure is the exact same. So compare the air pressure between Portland and Dallas. So if I'm looking at Portland and Dallas, so I have Portland and Dallas, and they're on the same line. So I know that the air pressure is going to be the same. And remember, anytime that you're writing on your lab, I want you to restate the question. This is, again, just to help you guys. So that's why I'm not restating. And then now I'm going to compare the air pressure between Green Bay and Houston. So now Green Bay is over here. We know that Green Bay is already a low pressure system. And here is Houston. And Houston is kind of in between two high pressure systems. So I'm going to say that the air pressure in Green Bay is dramatically lower than it would be in Houston because Houston is closer to the high pressure systems. So if I'm comparing the air pressure, Green Bay is lower than Houston. All right, hopefully this helps you. If you guys do have any other questions, let me know. And then I recorded it for you so that you can go back as you need to understand this particular task card. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And hopefully this helps.